Welcome to this tutorial about the iceberg. The iceberg is very central in the GPA concept and therefore also in the GPA app. The concept of the iceberg is that elements, meaning flashcards, combination exercises, or picture descriptions, are at the very bottom of the iceberg when you created them. The more often you learn these elements, the higher they move up through the 5 levels of the iceberg. This means the better your success rate is, so the more often you answered the element correctly and the more often you practiced it, the higher the element will rise. In the home screen, I can directly see the iceberg and also all my elements. I can see how many elements are in each of the 5 levels. If I tap on the iceberg on the home screen, I enter the large iceberg view. Above the iceberg, I see my practice plan if I have activated it. If you do not know the practice plan yet, make sure to watch the corresponding tutorial because I highly recommend mainly learning with it. Below the practice plan, new elements appear, meaning elements that I have just created but have never practiced. Below that, I see elements that I have not practiced for a long time. At the top right of the iceberg, I can read the exact calculation of the iceberg, meaning how the calculation works and when elements move up or down. To do this, I simply tap on the small gray eye at the top right. There, I can read about the basic function of the iceberg and also how the exact calculation works. The calculation is well thought out, and I would recommend most users not to change anything. However, if you want to adjust it for yourself, you can go to the app settings under General and then under Iceberg settings. There, you can change all settings and calculations so that it perfectly fits your needs if you want. In the settings at the very bottom, I can also set after how many days elements that I have not practiced for a long time should be displayed above the iceberg. For example, if I set the number to 3 days, then if an element has not been practiced for 3 days, it will be displayed above the iceberg. If I want to disable this function, I can simply enter the number 0. I would recommend disabling this function if you are learning with the practice plan, since this function is already integrated there. Sometimes it can also happen that elements are calculated slightly incorrectly under special circumstances. In that case, you can simply recalculate the iceberg manually by tapping the refresh arrow on the left. Now you can see all 5 levels and how many elements are in each level. If you want to display all elements, you can simply tap on All Elements. If we now tap on one level, we see all elements that are in that level, meaning all picture descriptions, combination exercises, and flashcards. If we tap on the question mark at the top right, we see the Help menu. Make sure to read it once at the beginning. Below that, we find the search bar. In the search bar, I can search for keywords, so only elements containing these keywords will be displayed. For example, if I search for animal, all elements with this keyword will be shown. If I tap the button on the right, I see all categories, meaning keywords that have been used at least twice. This can help me get a better overview. If I tap the icon on the far right, I enter the filter. Here, I can choose to display only flashcards, only combination exercises, or only picture descriptions. I can also change the sorting by days without practice, success rate, creation date, number of attempts, or by keywords. Below that, I now see all elements. On each element, I see the image preview, the number of attempts, the days without practice, the keywords, and the success rate. If I tap on the image of a flashcard, I enter full screen mode. This is the same full screen mode as in the All Flashcards overview, the editor, or the tile exercise. If you do not know the full screen mode yet, feel free to read the question mark there or watch the tutorial about all flashcards. If I tap on Details for an element, I can see how often I answered it correctly and incorrectly and when. I can also see the exact success rate. Here, I can also swipe left and right to go to the next or previous element. In the iceberg, I can also practice elements in a very specific way. There are 2 options for this. If I tap on the buttons at the bottom, an exercise will start with all elements currently displayed, meaning all flashcards or all combination exercises or all picture descriptions. For example, if I type animal into the search bar, all flashcards with this keyword will be shown. If I then tap the large flashcard button at the bottom, all these flashcards will be practiced one after another. Another option is to tap on Practice on a specific element. This will start an exercise with this element and the next 11 elements. This means if I tap Practice on a picture description, this picture description and the next 11 picture descriptions will be practiced one after another. The same applies to combination exercises and flashcards. It's important to note that combination exercises and flashcards are mixed. However, picture descriptions are practiced one after another in alphabetical order from the keywords. This is helpful, for example, when practicing individual pages of a book. As you can see, there are many ways to practice with the Iceberg. For example, I can practice all elements from a specific level to move them higher up in the Iceberg. You will learn most effectively if you have created a practice plan. If you do not know it yet, make sure to watch the corresponding video tutorial, because then you can simply work through the practice plan. And if you want to practice additionally, you can use the Iceberg to practice specific levels or elements with specific keywords. Also, feel free to check out how the app is used in practice. This is explained in another video. Have fun trying, learning, and using the GPA Flashcards app.